Hi everybody, my name is Jeff Norton, and I'm the author of a number of books for children and for teenagers. I've had a chance to meet some of you, but not everybody, and I really miss doing events and being in schools and being in libraries and being among young readers. I myself was not a big reader as a young person. I was what they would call now a reluctant reader. And so one of the things I really do enjoy is getting into schools, talking with kids, trying to inspire them and help them find a path towards reading. And one of the things I always try and do is give permission to that group of people, and it's usually, by the way, the majority, that aren't as much into books as maybe we are. I often start by asking some of the kids what they like in terms of films or television shows or video games or what have you, get a flavor for what people are into, and try to inject some degree of love of reading and literature in that whole media set, because I do think that reading and books do exist within the wider context of the media set that we've got competing for our attention. In terms of the books that I write, I'll give you a little sense and focus really on one book. My very first book came out almost 10 years ago called Meta Wars. Meta Wars is really for kind of year 6 on up. It's a dystopian action thriller from Hachette. There's actually 4 of them. Bizarrely, my best-selling series, I actually write under a pen name with a co-author, is Princess Ponies. These are chapter books. There's about 12 of them out now, about a little girl who gets magically transported to an island where ponies can talk and she's got to save the day. Despite the pink and sparkling covers, I think of them as Lord of the Rings for little girls. I wrote a couple of funny books with Faber called Memoirs of a Neurotic Zombie, about an OCD boy who gets stung to death by a genetically modified, death-defying zombie. Get it? More recently, I have a book called Alienated that came out a couple of years ago. Alienated is a sort of upper middle grade sci-fi action adventure comedy about the only human boy and his sister at the high school for aliens at Area 51. But my new book, and the one that I'm really excited to get out and talk to students about, is called Dino Nights. Dino Nights is published by Scallywag Press. It is a chapter book. It's the first in a series. I've just delivered the second book now, and I'm working on the third one. In fact, I should be working on the third one right now, but I'm talking to you instead. And it's really designed for readers that are ready to jump off of things like Beast Quest. So it is a chapter book. It's fairly easy to read and navigate, a fair amount of white space on the page. And it's just a great rip-roaring adventure. It's about a young, stable boy called Henry, and he lives in medieval times in a world where the dinosaurs never went extinct. And so what I'm hoping to do is get into some schools, talk about the books, talk about the themes. We're dealing with things like bravery and leadership. Try to expose and excite kids to the types of books, not only that I write, but also, more importantly, help them find the books that might be right for them. Because I'm a big believer that there is one book for every child that will help unlock their love of reading, and sometimes they just haven't found it yet. In terms of logistics and events, I'm very keen to get back into schools. I obviously want to do it safely. We are still in a pandemic, and so if we were to do it, I would expect that we would follow all the COVID protocols. The one thing I probably wouldn't do that I normally like to do is gather up with the kids, signing books up close. I'd probably sadly try and keep a bit of a distance. I'd wear a mask coming in and out. I think for me, I like big groups, right? I like presenting to a big auditorium, a big crowd. Now, ordinarily, I charge the Society of Author rates, but to promote Dino Nights, I'm willing to do a number of tours and a number of school visits gratis. But what I would ask in return is that you support the book. And that could be bringing in a local bookshop, could be ordering copies in. What I don't really want to do is come and do an event, but then the books aren't being sold. I really want to do this to support the publisher. Scallywag is an independent publisher. It's really important to them that we get some books in the hands of kids, and I want to be as helpful and supportive of that as possible. What else can I tell you? I don't tend to do workshops as much. I find that there's people that are probably better suited to me. I'd like a stage. I have a PowerPoint presentation. I like to really speak to a large crowd. Very happy if there's several schools that mix. I'm not sure if we're able to do that in times of COVID. I'm based in London. I would hope that you might cover my travel costs. And I will go to some far-flung places, but I've got a young family of my own, so I need to balance that out. But happy to jump on a train and have a bit of a journey, or even an overnight trip here and there to some schools that maybe don't get a chance to have authors in as much as possible. What else should I say? I guess really the big thing I want to say to you guys is thank you. This has been a grueling year, and I'm a big believer that libraries are at the heart of the school, and I just want to thank you guys for doing everything that you've done through different lockdowns and keeping kids reading. And I know everybody's had to improvise and make the best of a bad situation, but thank you very much. Hopefully I'll get to see many of you in person on the road this autumn. And if you have a chance to read Dynamite, I think you'll really enjoy it. It's not a long read, but it is a really rip-roaring adventure. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.